What is up, guys? Welcome back to Season 13, Episode 3 of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. We are talking the aftermath of Paris and a scary situation for Kendall. Do you think they need more security? Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Work. Vogue.
I just love the new song for the new season.
I know.
It's season 13. Let it be, let it happen, let it thrive.
I love it. Well, hello and welcome back to Keeping Up with the Kardashians after show here on AFTERBUZZ TV. And as you may notice, Justine and Howard could not make it tonight, but we have some awesome fill-ins. So Rachel and I work together on Revenge Body. How are you?
Great. It's great to be back with Dakota, of course. And so I'm Rachel Robillard, and y'all can find me on all social media at Rach_Robillard.
All right.
Hey, my name is Mina Wahab. You can find me on Instagram at Mina Makes Magic.
Ooh, I like that.
Hey guys, my name is TK Trinidad. I appreciate all your comments. They were awesome. Keep them coming. I am also doing the live chat, and you can follow me on everything at TK Trinidad.
All right, and you guys can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Mr. Dakota T Jones. So let's go ahead and get into this, guys. This was a crazy episode.
Yeah.
I love the vulnerability. I love that they've kind of opened this window and we can kind of finally see what's going on in the aftermath of Paris, how Kim's doing, and they're showing some very real moments where, you know what, she's not fully okay yet, and it's going to take time.
Yeah, still
was your
to this
thoughts?
day, like currently, she's still recovering. And I mean, I would be too. She has PTSD. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot. And as you could tell from this episode, we could tell by her vulnerability that she's still recovering. And I know. What do y'all think?
Yeah,
It's a
I don't know.
lot.
It's really scary. It's crazy. When this first happened, like over 5 months ago, I thought it was a publicity stunt at first, and I'm a huge Kardashian fan, so I was a little skeptical. And then I realized, wait, no, this is insane. Like, I can't believe this is happening. And just seeing, you know, the behind the scenes now and how they're talking about it on the show, it's really crazy.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how we see the behind the scenes of it, and then how people still are attacking her even after the show. And it's just, I think what people just don't realize is that she's human.
Exactly.
And they're taking that human part out of it, which is really sad. But I've actually, because of this particular episode, I have even more respect for her beyond the business side of things.
Right.
Just such a strong person, because she could have went the whole other direction. She has more than enough money to pretty much shut it all down. And she chooses to, one, let us see it, and then two, on top of that, just, you know, live her truth and be strong about it.
Yeah, and she totally doesn't have to. It's not her responsibility to inform the public what happened. That's more of a legal issue. That's not something she has to broadcast to the entire world. So, yeah, it definitely is awesome that she's doing that.
Yeah, it took her a long time, but she's finally, you know, come out and talk to us about this, which I appreciate. And, you know, she's back on social media. It was really hard. I was like, where is she?
Yeah, we missed the social media queen, and
I know,
she's finally
but
back.
like, I understood why. Like, I get it. It was a rough thing. And the fact that people dehumanize her and think, oh, well, you know, that one person even tweeted, like, I hope that they should have just gone the full hog and, like, done
Yeah.
that. I was like, that is so screwed up. And the fact that
Heartless
people can
people.
even say
I mean,
something
it's
like
because
that.
we see a lot of the times, at least, we see celebrities as commodities. I mean, what can they do for us? Like, it's almost like a machine just pumping out work after work after work. They are human.
They
so
are.
people forget that. Even, like, the whole fascination with celebrities, sometimes I think to myself, like, would I get starstruck by a certain person, and why, if they're just another human who does this for a living? They're part of the entertainment industry. But yeah, it's just weird to think about in general.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
since it did take her a long time, I think the way she did come out with her side of the story was very awesome. I think she did it to the best of her ability, doing it on the show and letting her whole side of the story out, just in her point of view, and how they edit it to make it look where she is vulnerable and that she was very scared and that it was real. It actually happened. Because a lot of people attacked her for saying it was just a publicity stunt, as
Like
you said.
Howard Stern.
Yeah.
Yeah, saying like, oh, that was fake.
I
Like, you
totally
just want
thought
the
that.
attention. And it's like, no, honey. Kim is being very honest and open about this, and that it actually happened. And that I couldn't imagine.
I know.
What
and
do you guys think about the Halloween costume that they
that
came
was
out with?
awful.
I hated
Yeah,
that.
but it's nothing new. I mean,
They always do stuff like
They always
that.
do.
Whatever the fad is or the news story of the day, they always make a costume out of it.
I mean,
they
taking-
did it with
Like
Martha
Miley-
Stewart.
Oh, yeah, Martha Stewart.
Yeah,
like,
that was kind of funny. I
Yep.
thought.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Martha,
one
the
thing.
Martha Stewart one.
Martha, like, obviously did something wrong, and the fact that, you know, I mean, sure, it's kind of bad and like stupid and immature for people to make costumes about celebrities going through hard times. But the one for Kim, it's like she literally had her life threatened. The fact you would make a costume over that is nothing new, of course, like you said, but it's ridiculous and awful. What really made me sad was the fact that 5 hours after the robbery, some official police officer, investigator, or someone was in the apartment taking video footage of Kim. And people were saying, like, oh, well, she's on her phone. She said her phone was stolen. Okay, well, you know, the wrists were not hurt by the twisty ties or whatever.
Right.
Oh, or not twisty ties.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Right.
talking about. And the fact that that even was a thing, it's like, wow, do your job. Like, why are you taking video footage?
They made
Surprised, though?
$50,000 off that video.
$50,000. That video was worth
Yeah.
$50,000.
I wonder if he got, caught. I'm sure.
They
Yes.
couldn't trace it, I don't think, could they?
Well, even if he got caught, doesn't mean he has to give the money back.
That's true.
So I just think this is a testament to society where we come. Like, for instance, normalize it. Somebody's getting beat up in the street, and everybody pulls out their cameras, they pulls up their phones.
Yeah.
So it's really a testament to where we are at this point. Because if this happened to any other celebrity 10, 15, 20 years ago, there would have been much more sympathy for that celebrity,
Right.
opposed to, oh, well, they're on TV way too much, so they deserve it, and they don't, you know. So it's just it's a sad thing, but it's also a realization that we have to come back to the human side of things.
And we've been seeing this a lot, actually, like a lot of robberies taking place. I mean, it's a little insane, and people are saying it's because people keep posting on Instagram and social media all of their wealth, like their rings, their jewelry, their bling, as I point to everything
You're like,
that I have.
don't
No,
advertise
no.
your jewelry.
These are not
what's on
diamond.
my...
No. This is
Right.
nothing special. But yeah, it's a little crazy. That's why she was telling Rob, like, keep things on the down low. You don't have to broadcast everything. Just be safe.
And I love how he was like,
His
we don't do that
response.
anyway.
Yeah, we don't do that. 'Cause
Well, I mean, Black China does. But
Yeah.
even on, like, just the regular note, if you're going on vacation and you're posting that you're going on vacation, even if you have 200 followers or 1,000 followers,
You know, the
they
house
still
is
know.
empty.
Yeah, they still know you're on
You can
vacation.
Yeah.
burglarize your house
So,
easily.
I try not to even, like, I told you guys last week there was like one instance where it was a scary situation with me, and I try not to post anything until I've left, just because people are crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I
like
know.
it just takes one weirdo, you know.
Yeah.
And so I try to post things after I've already left. And like vacations, I don't even post any vacation photos until I'm already back.
Right.
So people,
Smart.
and I'm always like, oh, I had such a fun time. So people
Hashtag
don't think.
Leadergram.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
For
that way
everything.
people don't think, oh, okay, like he's gone from the house right now, I could go to his house and steal something.
Right.
Right.
So
Kylie Jenner learned to do that too, because remember one
Right.
of the previous episodes, she's like, I'm never going to post where I am on Snapchat. It's really scary. So she learned, you know,
Learned the
I'm just
hard
going to
way.
put it in
Wait,
airplane,
yeah,
mode,
airplane mode.
and then do it on Snapchat.
Right.
Smart.
So,
Very,
yeah,
very smart.
Definitely. You have to.
I do want to go in and say the whole thing where Kim basically thinks that her father was trying to warn her with the BlackBerry. She's had
BlackBerry.
this BlackBerry. It goes off right before she was getting robbed, and she thinks that it was a warning from her dad because Tyler Henry, the medium, had said in an unreleased thing that will come out on Tyler Henry, the medium, in a month or two, told Kylie and I think it was Chloe the fact that the dad speaks in warnings,
Right.
Right.
warning signals. So that was interesting. I'm really excited to see the episode of The Medium, and I want to know more about that. But the fact that if this is true and that this is her father trying to warn her in a sense, like that's really special that her father's still around and able to communicate with her.
Totally.
He comes back as, like, I think a bird or a certain animal.
mentioned that.
I can't remember what it was,
Right.
but I always thought that was very interesting.
And
Yeah.
they correlate it to where it was actually the anniversary of their father's death.
It was,
around
yeah.
the same time
I
as
think
the
it's
robbery.
the funeral they
Oh,
said,
the
not the
anniversary
death.
of the
Yeah.
funeral, yeah.
So it's just crazy how all the timing works in that aspect. And I just love how she still has a BlackBerry.
10 years.
Yeah, it's like
Who
she
still
was like
has
OG
that?
BlackBerry, and like she made BlackBerries cool, still makes them cool. I mean, look at her. She has both the BlackBerry and the iPhone, just like go
Well,
her.
BlackBerry's on a whole. Well, they just discontinued about 2 years ago.
Wow.
But BlackBerry's on a whole, they're more secure. So she
Yeah.
most likely has a BlackBerry and an iPhone. So she does the iPhone with her social media, but all her
Snapchats.
emails and stuff, so
Yeah.
she doesn't get hacked. The BlackBerry.
You know what's
Yep.
funny though is if you bought her book Selfish, she actually posted
I
some
have it.
photos. There was like 2 nude shots that she had sent Kanye, and somehow they got compromised from her BlackBerry, and she said that's really weird because BlackBerries are not supposed to be
Right.
able to be
Right.
hacked, but somehow someone got these 2 nude photos that were on her phone that she'd taken for
crazy.
Kanye.
Yeah.
So she was like, well, they're already out there. I might as well put them in
Put
my
'em
book.
Yeah.
Put 'em in
And
the
it's
book.
so funny
In the
because it
book
has
pages.
that like little bit of a
grainy,
grainy,
Pixelated.
pixelated
yeah,
BlackBerry.
yeah, the quality's not that great. But like, I mean, even the former President Obama was using a BlackBerry
Wow.
up until they discontinued.
Wow.
So it's a CIA. I have a friend who's FBI. They
Wow.
had to just got rid of all their Blackberries.
Yeah.
No
So-
way.
And now going back to Tyler the Medium, do you think that, you know, Tyler the Medium, as we both all know, it's an E show. Do you think they purposely put him in as a promo, or do y'all really think they
That
truly
happened?
feel that way and that
I
that
think that
happened?
they
little bit of
truly feel
both.
that way. I mean,
Yeah.
they didn't really say, oh, on Tyler Henry the Medium, an unaired episode. You know, they kind of just
Coming up on-
briefly,
yeah.
briefly mentioned it, kind
Right.
of threw it away, like, oh, remember Tyler. And I don't even think they said the Medium. They just said, remember Tyler was saying, or Tyler Henry. And
Tyler,
I just
Okay,
kinda,
very true.
Yeah.
How
I
they
put 2
word
and 2
it.
together. So I don't know. I think that he was genuine when he told her that. I don't think I know what you're thinking though,
Yeah,
and
more
there
like
is a lot of
promo in that you never
there's
really
a lot
know.
of promos that go on with E, but I think this one wasn't. It was just something like
Maybe
that
a
we caught
subtle
on to.
promo for
Yeah.
people who are already fans of both to try to
Maybe.
get the
Right.
overlapping
Yeah.
fans to remember to tune
Yeah.
in to Tyler
Yeah.
Henry. I don't know.
That's true.
I still can't figure out. I asked TK this. I was like, is that show overly produced? Do you think that there is such thing as being a medium and being able to like see these things? I don't know. It's just
I
so
don't know.
interesting.
I like to
was-
believe it.
I
I like
like
to believe
to,
it.
yeah.
I like to also, but it's just it's so unsettling.
I know. I was a doubter at first. I did read his book, and I did think, wow, like this is a little bit more intricate and involved, and I have more of an open mind to it now.
Right.
But I do want to go back to, obviously Kim was very strong. We see sometimes Chris and everyone else was kind of having meltdowns more than her, but we did see that real moment where, you know, we couldn't see Kim, but she was in her bathroom crying. Chloe was comforting her, and that was one of the rare moments in this show where they broke the fourth wall, and Chloe was like, hey, can we not film
Turn 'em
this?
off.
Can we
Right.
turn the cameras off right now? And I did like to see that real moment because, sure, they're doing this show, and, you know, of course they want that intimate, raw thing where they're sitting down talking about this, but at a certain point, the cameras do have to turn off, and, you know, I like that they respected that, and Chloe was like, you know, I really need you to leave right now. I thought
Right.
that was beautiful of Chloe to kind of be like, okay, this could be really good for ratings, but I'm
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
set it aside for now
Yeah.
because this
And
is what
I've
Kim
never
needs.
seen that happen. I've never seen a Kardashian Jenner Disick ever say
Yeah.
like, please pause the camera. I mean, I bet they have.
They've had some
in
pretty intense
recordings.
moments,
Yeah.
and I haven't seen that air.
Exactly.
in any
You've never
episode.
seen it air. You never see it edited to where they ask, please stop.
Yeah.
And I really did like that.
And it was like they were already whoever was doing the camera was already kind of anticipating it because you notice we just saw
Right.
part of Chloe. And the thing is too, the thing with Kim, if she were to not be as strong and essentially break down all the time, that would throw the whole family off. I think she feels obviously Chris feels like she's responsible for her whole family, but I think Kim feels very responsible to almost keep that strong mentality because if she were to be crying every day, Chris would be all over the
Right.
place and everybody else too. So I think she's trying to hold it together for her family.
Definitely. And
believe
that
that.
whole story with when Kim was saying that Kanye came up the wrong set of stairs than what he usually does.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, he has a concert where everyone's yelling and screaming at him, so he couldn't hear that well. And Kim was like, hey, hello, hello. And she just thought, oh my gosh, like this is happening.
yeah, deja
again.
vu or like some kind of like, exactly, she thought,
And
you think the worst.
Right.
Of
I mean,
course.
of course, you know, at first you want to think, okay, it could be Kanye. So, okay, hey, are you there? Are you there? But when someone doesn't answer, that is scary.
That's a terrible trigger.
I think that she needs to do. It's great that you have security, but I think what might be helpful on top of seeing a psychiatrist is putting the power back in your hand, or at least feeling like you have that option, like
Yeah.
either going to classes or even learning how to shoot a gun. That doesn't mean you have to have a gun in the house, but at least you have that power that's like, okay, this situation helps. If this situation happens again, which hopefully it doesn't, then I'm more prepared.
Yeah.
I
So
wonder
I-
if Kim is pro or anti-gun because we know that Kris Jenner is anti-guns because
Right.
of that one episode.
And Caitlyn is
with,
pro.
Yeah.
And Kim
Right.
actually came out with Kindle, and I think Kylie, they all sat down with like victims of families that had
Yes.
been killed from guns, like shooters, and she did say she was against it. So I feel like she definitely wouldn't want to have it in her hand
Right.
and have to go through that. But I agree with you. I mean,
Yeah.
she needs to learn some more self-defense. Because
Yeah, but just because you don't have it in your house doesn't mean. I think that initial, because I go to the range all the time,
You do.
and the initial thought process or the initial moment you kind of get caught with a recoil. But once you get to know, it's very technical. So say that person does come into your house with a gun, and at least if something happens or a scuffle happens, then you know how to use it.
Right.
Because you're in a very vulnerable situation.
Definitely. I mean, even Kim, she agrees to finally sit down and meet with a therapist, which I thought was very smart of her because she is strong, but if she suppresses these emotions, it's going to come back to bite her.
In some way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
Right.
she said she wants to be like completely, her best for her kids and her husband.
Exactly.
Specifically.
And did you guys love how Kanye made that sweet compilation video?
Yes, for
compilation,
her
like-
birthday.
I loved it. I love
It's
how
so
Kris Jenner tears up at pretty much everything.
I
I felt like
know.
I was about to tear up because
Yes.
it was sweet.
That's
Whenever
such a
I
mom
see
thing.
whenever I see Robert Kardashian senior in anything, I'm always like, oh my god, like that's really depressing.
Right.
And I don't know, it was a sweet thing.
It was very sweet.
And I was actually there. I went to a Kanye concert. I went to the Life of Pablo tour, and I was there in October, and he actually debuted it at his
Wow.
concert. And I was like, oh my gosh, like it was just gorgeous. This was like exactly a really weird time with the whole robbery, but it was her birthday around the same time, and it was just really cool that he is so family oriented. Kanye West is, as crazy as people may think he is, he's very family oriented.
Which I've come to realize myself, because I'm kind of one of those people with him, like I don't think he's a god,
Right.
and it's just kind of like the whole ego thing
Jesus.
is a lot for
Not
me.
God, just Yeezy.
It's Yeezy.
I just think the whole ego thing is a
Jesus.
lot for me. But I do admire him for he loves his kids.
He
and
loves
he
Kim.
Loves
Yeah.
Kim. And all the things the amazing things that he does for her, and the little things like making a video. A video is not going to cost anything to make unless he hired someone to help him.
Right.
And that is something where she could have whatever she wants. All of money could buy her anything. But he chose to make her a sweet video that was of some of her sweet favorite moments of her life, which I thought was
Sentimental.
amazing. And I love the surprise party. That was also very sentimental.
Yeah.
And I love that they decided, let's not jump out
Yes.
and scare
Right.
her.
Oh
yeah,
my
I
God.
was
Can you
laughing. I was
imagine?
like, can you believe? Like, it never even crossed my mind.
Which it wouldn't cross mine
yeah.
either.
And I was like, that's the worst thing ever. Like,
You're
just
like
for her to have a heart
the
attack,
lights.
for, like with the
Yeah.
surprise, like
It
oh,
would've
okay.
crossed my
birthday.
mind. I think it might have if you're in charge of putting everything
Oh,
together.
yeah, for sure.
Then I'm like, this is not
Like,
such a
how's
good
Kim
idea.
gonna react?
Yeah, can you imagine, like, surprise? Oh my gosh. it'd be
Everything
awful.
everything starts over all
Oh
over
my God.
again.
So I love how they all stood outside. They were there, and I was kind of wondering, okay, is Kim gonna have anxiety? But she rolls down the window. She's
With
so
her
happy.
phone,
Yes.
or just
I
like.
know.
Just enjoy the
Yeah,
moment,
just enjoy-
Kim. Just enjoy
Oh,
the moment.
no.
But that's the thing. She
People
wasn't on
it.
social media then, so I'm curious. Why did she have her phone? Was she
Because
just
she wanted to
taking
keep
normal
it.
pictures? Yeah, exactly. Normal pictures, not Snapchat worthy.
Right.
She took about 6 months off of social media, so she's obviously just having those for her own.
And when she came back to social media, she had like so many millions of like views
Yes.
and interactions and engagement on her thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought it was only like 3 months or a little more than 3 months.
It was less than
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
It was, or I guess it was like 6 months from the time it had happened.
And like I said with the whole they could buy anything that they want to, I love the fact that Kylie, her gift was so sentimental
Yes.
in the fact that she repurchased or whatever the saint necklace, because I know that
Yeah.
meant a lot to her.
Gorgeous.
And you could see Kim almost broke down. She was
Yeah.
so happy because something that she cherished so much that got stolen from her, and Kylie was very thoughtful to do that.
Yeah. And speaking of Kylie, this was the first
Time we saw Kylie.
this was the first time in the whole season that we've seen Kylie.
Kylie, Rob, and Black China.
Yeah, and also Caitlyn. Caitlyn made an appearance
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Yes.
So we saw a lot of new faces in this episode,
Yep.
which I love it. Love it. Bring them all in.
Shout out to Caitlyn. He's like,
Yeah,
or
shout out to
she's,
Caitlyn.
She's like, nobody's coming for me.
Yeah.
No one's coming for
I
me.
was like,
oh,
don't
God.
say that.
Don't.
Because when you think about it, I mean,
Not
maybe not
always.
now. Maybe not now because she has the mansion kind of up in the hills with so
In
much
Malibu.
security. But she, in the past, has known to be the most easily accessible in a sense where, I drove by her old Malibu house right up against the street. All you had to do was go up and knock on the door or
Right.
bust it
I
in.
just saw her at the gas station like 2 or 3 days ago.
No way.
So I don't know. It just well, what do you think? Well, I'm sure Kendall's been calling her like dad,
Right.
But it just kind of threw me off a little bit because I wonder what she feels, or she's just like, this is just my because
Yeah.
people are
She
referring to
told
her as her.
Kendall, or Caitlyn told Kendall, you can still call me dad,
Right.
even though,
'Cause, I mean, what
her
is she gonna
pronoun
say,
is now
Mom?
she.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing, because I remember that part, but it's just like now it's a little bit, now she's a she, and everybody else is referring to her as she. So I wonder if that like almost throws her off a little, just a
Just
tiny
a tiny
bit.
bit. I could
Yeah.
see it. I could see it.
Right. Right.
Wrapping up Kim's storyline, she was very happy to be safe and there for her kids. She said, if I got any birthday present I want, I just want security. And I was like, that is so funny for her to say, but makes sense. Like, when she has security, she has peace, knowing that she can be with her loved ones and just have an amazing time. But I do want to get into Kendall because she had a scary situation happen before the robbery. She had a stalker break into the gate of her home. He was sitting there, you know, on the street, and then whenever she closed the gate, he was there. Such a scary interaction, and the fact that Kendall even felt bad for this person, which I admire her for that. I mean, mental health is an issue, and the fact that she could see past the crazy antics of this person coming for her, the fact that she wanted to, you know, be like, I feel bad for this person, I just wish that they could go to a mental hospital and figure things out. She originally didn't really want to testify against him.
Right,
You know?
and she said that when she saw him, he wasn't like a normal fan, that he was like crouched like this, sitting down, and that it wasn't a normal interaction at all. So that's why, you know, she felt so sorry for him, and she didn't know what to do. I love that about her. I think we saw a different side of her that's, you know, much more, very sweet, very empathetic.
Very.
You know,
Part of
very
me
good
wonders.
heart.
Part of me wonders if he was a fan or if he was just a guy sitting on the street and then saw an opportunity to do something, and maybe he was just knocking on the window asking for help, or he was mentally out of it. So I don't know if he was a fan or if he was just some guy on the street that happened to be at the not right place at the right time, but you know what I'm saying.
Caitlyn and Kendall talked about that, and Kendall went into depth saying this wasn't a fan. It's not like he wanted my autograph, wanted a picture with me, asked me how I'm doing. He just was just there and very intimidating, and just wanted to like talk to her and interact with her. And she's like, no, I don't know you. Like, you can't do that on private
What do you
property.
think celebrities should do in that situation? Do you think that they should cut the person a break, or really press charges and have a restraining order?
Probably get a restraining order, which, you know,
Totally.
she went to court. She said it was very scary, or not scary, but she was so nervous to be there in front of this guy.
Shaking,
but,
anxiety.
Right. They did extend the
For 5 more years.
5 more years. So
5 more years.
I do think that's probably best. Maybe doing a restraining order and then send him to a mental hospital. I don't know if jail would be the best place, just because I don't know if they cater to mental illness as well in jails or not. But
they don't rehabilitate you. The whole purpose, that's what's so bad, I feel like, is the whole purpose is you should be rehabilitated. You shouldn't just like go to jail and stay there and
rot away. I mean, you're a human being. I mean, obviously this was very wrong what he did, but even Kendall thinks, you know, this person needs to have a restraining order from me, but be able to, you know, even if it's years, staying in a mental hospital for years, you're getting that person's rehabilitating and getting on a fresh page, and maybe gonna be a good person after that. If after that they still display the same antics and they're not getting anywhere with the progress, then maybe throw them in jail. But I don't know. I did like how Kendall sympathized.
I don't know. I think it might have to be one. You have to determine what mental disorder he has, and 2, it would be dependent on if he's been arrested before, if he's had any 5150s, stuff like that. Because if it's just that one event, the likelihood of him going to a mental institute is not very high, unfortunately. So
and I think it was really kind of funny how the reason why the 5-year restraining order came into effect was because Kim was on the phone with Kendall and said, oh yeah, I hear it's another 5 more years. And Kendall's like, how'd you know that? She goes, oh, I saw it on TMZ.
Yeah.
It's like,
She's
wow.
Is it true? Yeah.
Is it true? Check my sources.
Oh my gosh, that's so true though. I mean, it just happened in the fact that Kim was researching it, and that TMZ, they know what they're talking about a lot of the time.
They have a lot of connections.
They do.
Oh.
It's
very
crazy.
credible.
Yeah, they're very credible. And yeah, I totally agree. So someone wants to see Kendall. You know, there's this phone call, hey, or, you know, he says, hey, look, someone's asking for Kendall. Obviously, we said no. They got security there. And Corey kind of steps up his game and is like, look, I want to help you, Chris. You're stressed out. You're all over the place. Like, let me help you. And, you know, he got on the phone, had some people sent there. And, you know, like with Kylie's thing, I like how he really does seem to love Chris and be there for her and try to help her, because she's having a hard time and she's getting older and she's having to deal with all this stuff.
You said so you thought something else before this situation?
No, like the past, when we first saw him come in, I was a little skeptical. But like within 2 or 3 episodes, I just saw how much love he poured into her, and he seems to love her to death. And I just love how genuine he is and how much he loves her, and you know, the fact that he's able to help out whenever he can and wants to create this more secure environment for them, and says, hey, I want to secure your kids just as much as I want to secure you and like help you. amazing. I thought it's
He's
very
really
selfless.
stepping up as the stepfather figure, and that's what happened when Chris was on the phone with the LAPD saying, and the LAPD said to Chris like, "Oh, no one's here, but there is someone who claims to be their stepdad." And he goes, "Oh yeah, that's Corey." No, and hearing that was like, wow. So he, looking from the outside in, like they view him as family.
Yeah.
The whole family views Corey as a part of the family. He is that father figure now.
And then on top of that too, if he just said he was a friend of the family, he had been treated a little bit differently.
Yes.
Yeah.
So saying stepdad definitely kind of makes it okay. He plays himself into that that situation.
True.
But definitely with Chris, as we saw, even when Kylie was contacting her and she wasn't even home, Chris was kind of going off the hinges.
She's like, I'm gonna go there by myself.
Yeah,
It's like, if no one's home, like stay away from the house, because if there is some weirdo who literally smashed her window, stay away, Chris. Like, what are you gonna do? Go up and be like, excuse me, can you not, please?
Right.
Why not call
Chris, can you
someone
not?
though? Like, why go there? Why not just call someone other than Corey?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Don't
so
they
I think
have
it's,
like anyone
The
else?
LAPD was on their way. The
I
alarm
think
was
it's-
going off.
I think it's also a trust issue too. Now because of everything, the possible inside job and all this other stuff. I think that's just they're closing in on ranks. Like I know one of the security security detail for Chris, and they actually rechecked a lot of their backgrounds to make sure they're all legit. So I think it's just kind of when that situation happens or anything in anybody's life, you're kind of like you reevaluate everything and just say, okay, what do I need, what do I don't need, and trim the hedges.
Definitely agree. I love how Corey seemed to be on board with getting a team together for Kendall for her return to Paris for the Victoria's Secret fashion show, and just seeing him be like, I'm on it, like I'm interviewing the second guy, we're gonna get this formula together where no one's gonna be near her. And that would be scary to be Kendall and be like, I have to go back to Paris where this scary thing
I
happened.
think she needs more than two, but
And at this point, I don't think they had found the guys yet. So the fact that she had to go back
so
and these guys were
soon.
still on the loose, terrifying.
So soon.
Terrifying.
And it was, speaking more about security, Pascal was the main security guard for Kim. And I thought it was really interesting that they didn't talk about Pascal at all during this part. This is the time where, like, in our scenario, looking at this time, that's when he got fired. Like, this is, and that's, I thought that would be relevant to talk about on this episode, but it seems like they didn't open up that can of worms.
He didn't get fired.
yeah,
right?
They let him go.
There were reports that they said they let him go, but then there's other reports that said he's still with them.
I think they've been photographed with.
Yeah.
Recently?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the reports after that were saying that he got fired, but recently he's been.
And
been
wasn't
back.
there someone who was fired, but it just wasn't him, right?
Yeah.
There was one security who was let go.
Yeah, but it wasn't
But it
him because
wasn't him.
we talked about that last week, and it's
Right.
kind of we thought that he got fired, and I kind of did some.
Yeah.
According to
Research on
ET,
that,
I
that's
think
good.
it wasn't.
And he did do like
Right.
a on phone thing, which I was surprised because Pascal never interacts with the show that much because he's there for his job. He doesn't want to be on reality TV. But he did. We see that little clip or hear that little clip of him from last week on the phone saying, "I make sure that there's no one 10 feet from Kim at all times."
Right.
And so I think he is still with them. I think that he is probably being looked down upon a little bit and be like, make sure this guy's actually not doing it as an inside job.
Right.
So they probably, obviously, like you said, more background checks, reevaluating everyone because, I mean, you don't know who might have leaked information.
Right.
So I think it was smart, but at the same time, I think that he probably can be trusted and that he is a main reason why they have stayed safe for so long.
And the thing too is like you didn't really have to leak too much information because that night, unfortunately, Kim was Snapchatting alone.
Right.
So I mean, even hypothetically, he did leak information. She put it out there for us anyway.
Multiple.
And everyone
Unfortunately.
knew because there was shots of Pascal with Courtney and
Right.
Kendall.
Right.
So everyone could put two and two together.
Right.
Okay, Kim's alone. We have this short amount of time to do it because they're leaving tomorrow. Like, let's just get it done. Which is as sick as it sounds. That's the reality
Right.
of it.
Yeah. If you follow all the Kardashians or pretty much any celebrity now, fortunately, you can pretty much give a timeline where they are, where they're going, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
It's very true.
It's scary
Unless they're
stuff.
off the radar. So many celebrities don't even like Twitter. Not so many, but there's a handful for sure.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's that, but then I don't know. You have people like Kevin Hart who does it responsibly.
Yeah.
Him and I follow the Rock and Kevin Hart all the time, but
Love
they both you know The Rock posts his videos he works out at 5 o'clock in the morning, but his videos come later on, a couple hours later.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can see that they're doing it responsibly, and as fans, you kind of want to see it in the moment, but you also want to stay safe. So
Exactly.
it looks like it's a hard lesson to learn, but it looks like Kim has learned her lesson.
And speaking of Kevin Hart, he was actually on tonight's episode. Did
Yeah.
y'all catch that?
Ellen.
He was there with Ellen.
Yeah.
And so speaking of Ellen, Chloe was the first person to do press after the robbery.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Went on
remember
Ellen.
that when it aired,
Yeah?
and I
Yep.
was like,
Me
I was
too.
like waiting for her to say something, and she didn't say, and like I was waiting for her to go into
Right.
details about it.
Right.
Nothing.
It wasn't
I was
her
like,
story to tell, too.
I know
Yeah.
it
Right.
wasn't, but I was like hoping to get something at the time because that's when everything was crazy. I wanted
It was.
answers.
Right.
and-
I did love how Chloe did say though, well, she's to be honest not very well right now because you know
Honest.
they always do that thing where they're like, oh, everyone's great, everyone's fine, but no, I loved how they slowed it down and were like, you know what, things are not good right now. Thanks for keeping us in your thoughts, but give us kind of some privacy as we
Right.
work through this, and then Kim will tell in her own time. So I respected Chloe so much for how she handled that.
I agree.
Any last thoughts before we get into some predictions?
Prediction.
No, I really like this. I really like this episode. It really, I mean, obviously the people who are watching after 13 seasons are Kardashian fans, but I really hope that, you know, a lot of snippets leak to other places so people can actually see that they're human and they have a wide variety of emotions beyond the, you know, stereotype Hollywood starlets that people put that
I
on
love
them.
that. Very well said.
And one thing I do want to talk about is the fashion. The lip ring. I don't know, like
Oh,
I
yeah.
just like Kim's lip ring. She rocked it last episode, and now again this episode. I mean, she's definitely trying to make a fashion statement.
I didn't
with that
like
lip
it.
Ring.
I
Y'all
did
didn't
not
like
like
it.
I really don't think it. I mean,
I don't think it's a
she's
fashion
wearing it, but
statement.
it's not real.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
not
clip-on.
real. It's
Yeah.
a clip-on.
Yeah.
I don't think she's. I think she just. It's fun. Like I got a like those little bull horse rings. I got like a fake one. And
Yeah?
it felt fun. I was like,
Yeah,
all right,
you
you
made-
wear it for a couple days and then you.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of it, or like on her?
It's different. I do actually when she does it with the straight hair, like if she
Yeah.
wasn't Kim Kardashian, like it's like all right, that can work, you know. But then you know other kissing and all that stuff gets kind of.
That would be weird, and like if it got
Yes.
caught or like
Yeah.
someone bit it and pulled it, like.
But
If
I mean-
someone bit it.
But I mean,
Kanye.
the look
Kanye.
works. Like, I mean, you often like just the dark hair with
Yeah.
it, and you know she can almost play it up a little bit more. It's like she's kind of balancing, you know, chic with
Right.
a little on the edge
And
side.
it was
Yeah.
playful
It is
and
an
I
fun.
wasn't in
Yeah.
love with it. I would like a nose piercing more on her, like a
Really?
stud or something. I didn't like
It's better
the.
if she does it now than when she's 70.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of.
Obviously.
I kind of liked it. I thought it was
Obviously.
playful and fun.
do like
and
Yeah.
it was like a clip-on, so I mean, it's easily taken out. It's not something that's permanent where it's gonna leave a weird hole in her lip.
Right.
I thought it was funny and cute, and I don't know. I think Kim does those things where she does it for a while, and then she's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
later
She's
on,
over
she might
it.
be like, that was kind of weird, but you
Yeah,
know, she's
why
just
not?
being
I
herself.
I do have
Fun.
to say the one weird, like, not style statement. I love when her hair is blonde. Even though
I
you
do
think
too.
she can't
I
pull
do
it
too.
off, she pulls it off so nicely, even though her skin tone's like really olivey.
Yeah.
It looks so good on
I
her.
know. I was supposed to
agree.
meet her when she had her blonde hair,
Ah.
and that week she changed it back to black, and I was like, no, I
So
wanted
now,
a photo
do you
with
think
you.
she
Blonde.
do you think she changed it black to black, or was that a wig? Because Kylie rocks
Right.
lace front wreaths all the
Ooh,
time.
You know what? The
Yeah.
first time it was real. The second time when I was about to meet her, I think it was a wig.
Yeah.
But she kind of ditched it, and I was like, no, I wanted a photo with you in the blonde.
Meet the blonde.
But I
Yeah.
really like the black short hair. You know when it's like shoulder length?
Yes.
She has it like that.
You
Kim,
like that?
I love it.
I love long hair
I
with
love
her.
that.
Oh, I know what you mean. Where she
Yeah,
had like the wave.
and
Yeah,
it's
the
like
wave.
kind of like there's a lot of volume to
Yeah,
it, and
yeah.
it's super
Right.
like kind of like, yeah, I don't know.
I love
beachy
her.
in a
I
way.
love her with the short hair, but I think I love Chloe more with the long hair. I love Chloe's long
Yes.
hair.
Oh, Chloe,
The
yeah,
blonde,
for sure.
yeah.
I
'Cause
love
Chloe
it.
does like
Chloe's
that
so
cute
good.
bob sometimes, but then when she really has those extensions in, I'm like,
Fierce.
I feel like it's gonna be Chloe's year because she had a really rough year last year, and
Yeah.
I feel like she has revenge body now. Like
Yes,
things are
she's
becoming
feeling that.
better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which
I
leads
really-
us to predictions because I have a prediction about her.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yes.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Predictions.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I got excited because what you said about this
Yeah.
being her year
Yeah.
leads us into predictions because next week we get to see her in her Good American launch.
Yeah.
Which was incredible. I thought that was a big staple of her coming out and being like, okay, this is my year. You know, I'm going to go for
Right.
this jean thing. Her jeans are amazing. So many celebrities love them. I know a lot of people really love them because it's a positive thing that shows everyone's beauty and everyone of all sizes can wear these jeans.
Yep.
So I think that is a definite big thing that's going to make her even more successful because she's catering to everyone instead
Right.
of just having that size zero or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
It's all sizes, and she specifically says it's to empower women.
Yep.
Embrace your curves, and honey, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yes.
So, like, exactly, and like I love that. I
Yeah.
love it. She embraces her curves, and I do too.
I love it. I love that. And another thing with Chloe is I love that she obviously has Revenge Body. We
Woohoo.
loved that show.
Did it get picked up
Um,
for a second season or?
you know,
It's like I'm almost positive because Will and I, like, we talk.
Yeah.
I see his Facebook post and he's
Right.
helping do
yeah.
a second season.
I don't know if they've officially announced
It's
it,
not
but
official. Like
Chloe has been seen at. I actually drove by, you know, that studio.
Milk, was it Milk?
No, the other one. There's
Melrose?
the one that's about. Oh crap, Siren.
Oh,
That's
Siren.
where they filmed
Oh,
all the
okay.
promo
Yes,
stuff
yes,
for the
yes,
first season.
yes.
I drove by Siren after an audition, and there's paparazzi outside. And I'm like, this is weird. And then I go on social media and see Chloe's secret photos where she's in a white
Yeah.
background again, sitting
Yeah.
down in a chair like she was for the second season, and all the Revenge Body cast was like posting, I wonder what this is
Yes.
about.
Right.
So I mean, I was like, oh, okay, I put two and two together. Chloe was there. They've already started filming for season 2, whether it's
Nice.
out or not,
Right.
and the cast seems to think it's happening.
It's a good thing that, you know, it sticks for her because she had that, was it Cocktails with Chloe
Yes.
before that? and
Oh, God,
everything
that
with
was a
Lamar and all that.
disaster.
It's just,
Right.
you know, so good. It's,
And I thought that would be amazing because she's such a good host. I feel like she has that personality
She
to be a
does.
host. For
she
sure.
does, but it just feels like, you know, everybody's doing something like that.
They
so
kinda-
this is a little bit different.
They kind of took the power away from her and gave it to the producers because
Yeah,
she even
other
said
people.
like I wanted it to be fun, but then now they made me do all these little segments, and then they like basically spent the whole time promoting the guests' projects and
Right,
stuff, which
yeah.
sure touch on it, but then let's get into having fun. And I think Chloe didn't like that, and they were extended for 10 more episodes, and then they just said never mind, and then they cut him.
well, that's then she was taking care of Lamar too at the
That's
time,
true.
so she
Right.
cut
Yeah.
she cut it short.
Right.
That's true.
And now she's happy now in a new relationship, and
Yeah.
it looks like it's going very well.
Well,
Yes, with Tristan.
we'll see.
Tristan.
We'll see. We had a discussion about this
Yeah,
last week. I don't know.
I like
You're optimistic sometimes about it.
I mean, because I'm Canadian, I believe he has that Canadian sensibility, but I just feel like she's jumping from one relationship to another.
Yeah.
And I'm really big on, you know, knowing yourself first.
Okay.
And it just seems like she needs to kind of do the work on why all these other relationships are failing because
Okay.
there's only one common denominator. So I'm hoping she figure that and maybe it'll work out. But
At the
you
same
know, we'll see.
time, I feel like she is such a catch. Like
Oh.
she's my favorite Kardashian ever
Yes.
since day one. She's been my favorite, and I feel like she's an amazing person. She's so nurturing. She's always kind of like the role model
Yeah.
for her younger sister. She's always there for them. She's also always there to put people in check. I feel like,
Yeah.
you know, very sarcastically, and she's very snarky. So I feel like she is a catch, but her problem is I feel like she goes after people who are already taken or already have issues. So when
Or
you
maybe people
when you
who-
say
Issues.
when you say that like she's the common denominator, yeah, but maybe she's just choosing the wrong type of guy to be with.
I
Right,
agree
which
with
is
you.
she's the common denominator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Right.
like
She
not
started
that there's
dating-
something wrong with her, but that she's not choosing someone who's a good fit for what she wants.
And I feel like
Right.
she's always going after someone. She's even said it before where she feels like I want to fix this person. I want to help them. You
Yeah.
know? So she goes after that
Typical
stray dog.
Cancer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she goes after that stray dog. She's like, I want to bring him in and help him and make him a better person. And,
Right.
and I see the good in everyone, but that can bite you in the butt sometimes because sometimes people don't want to change.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
At least she
very true.
acknowledges it, but the next thing is, you know, doing the steps to
exactly.
better
Amen.
pickers as
Amen. Well, that gets us into news and gossip.
Woo!
AfterBuzz TV News.
So this first one I really like. It's we have the photo here of the Hamptons where they had, you know, the Amazing Hamptons episode spinoff with Courtney and Scott, Chloe. I love it.
too.
The mansion has decreased its value a little bit. It's on the market. They're trying to sell it. It originally was going for $13.95 million. They brought it down
Cha-ching.
now to 12.75. So like pretty much a whole million has been taken off of it. But guys, this is if you have all this money,
Right.
go for it, guys. This is on the market right now.
Well, they're saying with the housing market that this is not a buying season just yet.
Okay.
They're waiting for it the bubble to burst, and then so I think a lot of people, or at least that's what my rich friends are telling me. So I think a lot of people are just kind of waiting till
Yeah.
everything goes down. So maybe they're just waiting for that right price in the.
I mean, wouldn't this be amazing if you had the money and you could buy a house that they literally spent so much time in?
I'll just take the guest house, like, gee.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
no, I have a thing where I can't be in a house that's that big because it's a little too creepy.
That's
like,
true.
I
It
need
is.
something a little bit more cozy.
Yeah.
It's too much.
It is pretty big. I mean, that's huge. But I get what you're saying because sometimes you want security and having that small place makes you
Yeah.
feel like you can kind of see and hear
Right.
everything.
Yeah.
Definitely. I agree.
Same.
Next, we have Chloe. She went and had a spin cycle
Yes,
class for
she
charity.
did.
They went to the Children's Hospital, and this was either today or yesterday.
Oh, where did she do it? Was it SoulCycle?
Soul Cycle, yeah.
Beverly Hills, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
And Malika and Khadijah were there, I believe. Malika,
love
yeah.
that.
Good, she's there.
And they just had so much fun, and they raised money for charity. Everyone who had a seat had to buy the seat, you know, to
Nice,
Soul Cycle
yeah.
with her. Another picture, so cute. She got to
Yes.
meet fans afterwards, and she just seems to be so happy and so in a good place
It's nice
right
to
now.
give back. It's really nice to give back.
I thought you said
Yeah.
sucks to give back. I'm like,
Oh
what?
no! It's really nice, especially when you're in that position, just to kind of give back, to almost acknowledge that you're blessed to essentially be a reality star. I mean, that was
Yeah.
unheard of 30 years ago,
Yep.
and now giving back to something like, I mean, that's really admirable.
I think
so.
she's a beautiful person inside and
I
out.
love her.
Completely.
Yes.
I love
Totally.
her.
Yes, I
Seriously.
We have that in
absolutely adore
common.
her.
We do.
Yes.
Another thing I want to talk about is, according to TMZ, which we said is usually a credible source,
Always
Momager
a credible source.
Always.
Yes.
Momager
Kim said so.
Kris Jenner recently had a meeting with producer Harvey Weinstein in Los Angeles to pitch the potential primetime show of a animation series of the Kardashians.
Right.
And that picture was actually done by TMZ staff.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's awesome. I know you have some ties.
Yeah.
I saw a little video of you.
Yeah, we both work for them.
Yeah, we both.
Oh, you do? No way.
Yeah.
That's so
Okay.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw you on there one time. I think there was a clip, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's her. That's so cool. But yeah,
Right.
I love that. I love the idea. I know it's crazy, but they even said that the entire family, excluding Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm like, okay.
I think the writers, if they get really, really great, the writers are going to make or break this.
Oh,
if it
hands
does
down.
go through, the writers are going to make or break this. And, you know, depending on the theme that they go with. So it's just going to really depend on the writers. Almost like either do like a Simpsons writers or
Yeah.
Family Guy type writing. So we'll see.
And
Do you
Kim
think-
has done some animation. She's done voiceovers for cartoons before. So
Yeah.
this wouldn't be her first rodeo since she has done that.
It would
Yeah.
be their voices, like they would
I don't
come in
think
the
I
studio.
don't think it'd be their voices.
No?
No.
Well, that just sucks. Like that just made me like
I
not
don't,
want to
because
watch
I think
it.
I think they don't want it almost true to form. It would be better if it's, you know, them, but you know they're gonna be doing crazier stuff. You know, different. I mean, you're gonna get a voice that's similar, but I don't think they're gonna do the voiceovers.
Dang.
That's very time consuming.
That
It
is very
time consuming.
Also, if they want it to last years and years, maybe go with like younger voice actors so that it's like The
So they
Simpsons,
evolve.
and then they can
Well, I
place
mean,
it throughout the years.
Lisa or Bart was a 40-year-old woman, so
What?
yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
They had some weird voiceovers for The
Bart,
Simpsons.
yeah, Bart was like a woman, and
Yeah.
she's
No way.
like in her 40s
That's
or something. so.
crazy. That's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Even if they're not voiceovers like the Kardashians, I definitely will believe that their name will be in the credits and they will be getting
Oh,
a
for
large
sure.
chunk
large
in
chunk,
that
because they're
they're not
using their
voicing
name and likeness.
Multiple
Yep.
streams of
the
income.
brand
Mhm.
for
I
sure.
love that. I do think that they would work very closely with it though, because they wouldn't want to make it too like, oh, we're so
Campy.
cool, you know, or
Right.
yeah, even that too. But I feel like they wouldn't want them to kind of make fun of the Kardashians. I'm sure it will kind of poke fun a little bit,
Right.
but they're not going to want someone to come in with a TV show and make them look bad.
Exactly.
So they will work.
But that
probably
actually might
closely
bring
with it.
in other people who don't watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Like if they almost are
Yeah.
self-deprecating like how comedians are, that might bring in a whole nother audience, which, you know,
Plays to a
Yeah.
bigger audience.
right? Because now obviously you're gonna have the people who watch everything on social media for the Kardashians, but then now they're hearing, oh, Kim does this crazy thing and she makes fun of herself. Then people are gonna want
Right.
to see it.
That's true.
And if it's actually like funny, then it's a whole new demographic.
I could just see
Yeah.
like animated Kim like taking nude selfies in the mirror.
That's
Yeah.
really funny. I don't know if you guys
Blur.
have seen this. There actually have been like very similar to like Sims like clips. There's like one that I think
Yes.
went viral on Instagram, and it's
Yeah.
kind of making fun of Kim, Courtney, Chloe, and it is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah,
It
they're
is.
like, you
It's
guys should try the
Kardashians.
orange soda.
Yeah, the orange soda.
and then
That one.
I'll take a
Yeah.
strawberry soda.
I cannot believe
And then the
she didn't
dramatic
order the
Yes.
orange soda.
music.
Like that's so
So
rude.
good.
I love
So
it. I hope
rude.
it's like if
So
it's anything
rude.
like that, I would totally watch every single episode.
Maybe that's why Chris
Yeah.
was like, "Oh my
Yes.
gosh, like that went viral. Let's
Yeah.
do this." Like,
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
Chris is.
Right.
Give it
On
up to
top of
Chris.
it.
Yeah, on top of it.
Kudos to
Definitely
Chris.
like businesswoman. I hope she once she kind of gets all her kids settled, which probably will never happen because she's always kind of working on new projects.
Yeah.
But she can definitely open up a company
oh yeah.
and have other people handle other celebrities.
Definitely.
We've seen that though. She tried to make that girl group
Yeah,
work,
that-
and
I
then
was
she
just
got
about to say
super
that.
duper time
Yes.
consumed and kind of let them kind of slide.
Right.
Yeah.
She's an amazing.
Well, yeah, she needs to
manager,
hire
though.
like she needs
She's-
like a be the leader and then
clientele.
hire agents to do that. Like she can't do it all herself, but
And maybe more like, I know what you were saying, but you think maybe also clientele that is maybe more prestigious and like not just starting out, but like people who are big.
like mid-range, like they're they maybe might have 1 or 2 movies or an album or something. Starting from the bottom from scratch that's
hard.
way more work.
Especially when she's got everyone here who's amazing,
Right.
and then having to try to go and be like, okay, I gotta help these people too. That could be hard.
Yeah.
Could be very hard. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. It was so much fun. We love talking to you guys about this show. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure to give us a big thumbs up, comment below. We love talking to you guys.
Please do.
And if you are listening to us on iTunes, make sure to give us a 5-star rating and leave a lovely review. We would love to read that on the show next week. And where can we find you guys on social media?
You can find me at TK Trinidad on everything, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Shout out to David. He was on the chat last week.
What's up, David?
Hey, David.
Some psychic world medium. She kind of put some stuff on before we
Sweet.
even started the show. So shout out to y'all.
Hello. Thank you guys for watching.
And my name is Mina. You can find me on Instagram at Mina Makes Magic.
Hey.
Yes, thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'm Rachel Robillard, and y'all can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Rach_Robillard.
And you guys can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Mr. Dakota T. Jones. You can also catch my new talk show, Millennial Hollywood, on AfterBuzz TV's Popcorn Talk. We're going to go live this Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time with very special guest, Megan Rinks, who is an Instagram model and also very successful, 2.5 million followers on YouTube.
Wow.
And she has a special announcement that she's going to announce. So you guys got to tune into that. Make sure to follow all of us on social media and check out our other after shows here at AfterBuzz. You can follow AfterBuzz TV at AfterBuzz TV on all social media platforms. We will talk to you next week, and we love you.
Ciao.
Hi.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.